So running a conference from my living room, indeed. Um, Let me tell you, first, before the pandemic hit, I did conferences, I recorded conferences, I live streamed conferences from all kinds of places, like here in Rotterdam, a beautiful church turned into a conference center, or last year in Prague, the Write the Docs conference I did as well. All the recordings and the live stream was my work. I went all kinds of places like this. Well, you don't see it, but this is last year in Miami. This is a gig I did in Amsterdam. And then all of a sudden we had the pandemic, and this was my view for the rest of, well, so far basically. Running conferences from my desk in the office. And the thing is, many people don't see me anymore because I'm behind all these screens, and attendees, usually they come up to me and we have a little chat, and they wonder what all the gear that I bring, what it actually does. But now I don't see the attendees anymore. So I get a lot of questions like, how does it work running a conference? And like this used to be my view, but unfortunately in the Netherlands, we also, well, we're not in a full lockdown, but kind of. So now we're actually working from home, where it's not forbidden to go to your workplace, but you're sort of advised not to. So I moved all my stuff to my home, and it looks like this now. This is where I am right now. This photo has a bit better light, but it looks looks like a nice cozy corner of my living room. And so that's where I now run this conference. And you may wonder, how does it work? How do you do all that remotely? Well, luckily we don't do everything live, because there's so many things that can go wrong when you are live, like disconnection with me to a camera through the internet to the platform Hopin that's being used. And then if you have remote presenters, all those kind of things that can go wrong, they multiply really quickly. So for this conference, we decided to pre-record all the talks. So at least that's something that we can prepare and then play them out according to the schedule that the organizers have made. But then still, it's quite a lot of work that goes into that, preparing all that, and then actually monitoring that everything goes according to plan. Also make sure that everything keeps working. For example, yesterday, I remember there was a talk where all of a sudden the sound wasn't working. Really weird. So you have to really keep an eye out and your ears open to monitor everything. So what you see on this photo on the left basically is where I monitor everything that's happening on Hopin. So is everything that I play out, is it actually arriving on the platform, and is it working? Can people see? Can people hear it? So that's one computer on the left with an extra screen. Then obviously there is coffee. Coffee is really important running conferences. And then behind the coffee, you see basically that is the app that plays out all the pre-recorded content. It has all the talks lined up. It has all the slides lined up that announce what's happening next, what are we waiting for, what's going on. So that's basically the nerve center of everything, and I hit start, stop on the times according to the schedule. And then to the right of that, there's more monitoring. Is the feed working? Is the sound working? Is the image working? And there's the good old Slack channel with the organizers, so that we can actually stay in touch if something's going wrong, if things are going good. Yeah, basically how we keep an eye on everything. And of course, a very comfy chair. That's really important in these kind of situations. Which brings me to the next point, that even though comfort of the home is nice, it also means something like this. This was yesterday, right after the conference ended, and I noticed that I only had a little over 600 steps taken, whereas I was supposed to, or at least advised to do more than 5K. So that makes you wonder that, staying at home all the time, it also has some downsides. So I would really recommend, even on days like this, when the content and the conference are really cool and really engaging, go out every now and then, because yeah, keep moving is really important to also stay safe and stay sane. And that also brings me to the last slide, is because even though I don't travel anymore because all the conferences have gone online, I did have the occasional local gig, and I do have a cargo bike for that. I'm a Dutch guy, so I have to have a bike. I have several bikes, actually. And I also have a bike to do conferences and multicam recordings with a cargo bike. So here you see a gig a couple of weeks ago where I just unloaded at a big unloading dock where usually the trucks come in. And now that place was all mine. So that's just a funny side note. But that's basically how we work these days, from home, from our living room. But even from a living room, you can still do a conference like this. So if you want to know more about it, this was really short. Feel free to get in touch via any of these channels.